frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
21. Oh, life has just begun. Got a temper like a gun, pointing it at everyone. That's his game, and it helps him to get through the day. But a voice inside him says, how much longer can I play? He's got infinite possibilities, I can see them now. It's the unbroken chains of his past by which he's bound.
It's time to set our intentions, set our self-care, and find our focus. This is Mindful Mondays with Saharah Ali on KBLA Talk 1580.
She is a yoga instructor, a life coach, a meditation teacher, a sound healer, sound bath expert, an astrologer, and much more. We are blessed on Mondays to have Saharah Ali join us for Mindful Mondays. Good morning, Saharah.
Good morning, Dominique, and good morning, KBLA family. Welcome to Mindful Monday, where we get our minds right for the week by setting positive intentions to honor our mind and body through meditation, prayer, and affirmation as we step unapologetically into our week, being on purpose with our power, faith, truth, and wisdom. Today, I'd like to unpack the celestial influence of Mercury Retrograde, starting today on April Fools in Aries until April 25th, giving us an opportunity to pause, to reflect, and let go. Mercury changes directions 3 or 4 times a year, shifting our perspective, aiding deep introspection and renewal. Mercury's goal is to keep us in present time, and Aries' task is to support the action needed to move through present time with willpower, faith, and trust. The gift of Mercury retrograde supports the expression of both sides of our brain. Our right brain opens, stimulating intuition, clarity, and creativity, leaving the left brain for linear thinking, and retrograde planets facilitate karmic balance, bringing light to all things in our lives, allowing us to redo, rethink, reframe, and go over old ground to face truth and retrieve our power. Mercury retrograde affects all forms of communication, every aspect of it. So expect delays in travel and communication. Pay close attention to all details. Make extra time for all tasks and exercise lots of patience, but most of all, slow down to receive divine guidance, supporting major change. We have 3 weeks of intense Mercury energy aiding us to consciously reframe our thoughts and actions, manifesting what we want, releasing what we don't want, and utilizing self-love and inner wisdom to celebrate our wholeness. Going forward today with our Mindful Monday meditation, let's unapologetically reframe our expectations, centering and grounding ourselves to embrace the gifts of Mercury retrograde for 3 weeks. So let's quiet our minds for a moment, take a breath, tap into inner peace. Slowly exhale, releasing any tension or tightness in your body. Now inhale, allow yourself this moment connecting to the wisdom within. Hold your breath for a moment. Now exhale, opening your heart and mind to change already existing within you. Just breathe, relax, and be here now, one with your breath, one with the power of the wholeness that already exists in you. Just relax, just breathe. Now inhale, calling on your angels to support releasing and letting go. Call on your angels to support you in releasing and letting go. And now exhale, aligning with your highest good, aligning with your highest intent, opening yourself to the wisdom within. Now inhale, making the promise to engage in self-love, compassion, and patience, which is very much needed during this Mercury retrograde cycle. Now exhale, acknowledge every moment of your life offers positive change, offers empowerment, and more than anything, offering growth during this time. Just relax and breathe, releasing any expectations. Relax and listen, honoring our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Just relax. And now take the biggest breath you've had all morning. Bring it all in. Bring in all your light. And now slowly exhale. Relax and listen with an open heart to our Mindful Monday affirmation for the week. Today, I unapologetically embrace my wholeness, ready to review, revive, and renew all aspects of my life. Today, I unapologetically embrace my wholeness, ready to review, revive, and renew all aspects of my life. Think about that. Are you open and ready to review and revive and renew all aspects of your life? The celestial influence is opening the space for you to rebirth and change. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you, Tavis Smiley. Thank you, Miles and the 1580 KBLA family. Have an unapologetic, mindfully blessed week, embracing wholeness, being ready to review, revive, and renew all aspects of your life as we step into this season of retrograde and eclipses.
Saharah, before you go, I'm pulling my Lieutenant Columbo on you now. One more thing, just one more thing. You got to be old enough to get the reference, but if you do, you know. Just one more thing. Well, just one more thing, Mrs. Smith. I was wondering about, we've had an eclipse. Now we're in a retrograde, and as you said, it's April Fools. Ha ha, April Fools. The universe has got the jokes on us. But you've always done such a great job of pointing out the things that are favored under retrograde. So I wonder if you can just review those briefly, because that's helpful. I think Mercury retrograde has sort of seeped into the popular consciousness, but only the downside.
Yeah, and they're talking about it on the news, which is hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious.
That's fine. But the thing is, this Mercury retrograde is like a retrograde on steroids, because we have a total solar eclipse. And so if we think about the nature of Mercury retrograde, it gives us an opportunity to review and to go over and reevaluate and renegotiate any dynamic in our lives that we have created that is no longer working for us. But under this solar eclipse, it is also bringing out the things that have been stagnant, the things that are in the deep, dark corners of our subconscious mind coming to the surface, giving us an opportunity to release old beliefs, to release old emotional patterns, and to let go of unproductive habits, and to go deep into our memory to reprogram so that we can upload a new light. Because the solar eclipse is when the moon comes between the sun and the earth. And so what's happening with the moon, as above, so below, and the moon is like a magnet to our bodies, because our bodies is like 80% water, just like the high tides happen. This dynamic is allowing us to clear and reframe, and technically on a higher level, rebirth how we are willing to stand in our truth, to stand in our wholeness, and to really reframe how we are going to conduct ourselves in unfolding the happiness, the joy, the abundance, the success that we seek. Now, the thing is, we have to take the trash out. And this is what Mercury retrograde gives us. It gives us an opportunity to look back and not get stuck, but to see the clarity that we didn't see and to renegotiate how we are going to move forward. You know, it's like sometimes we forget to remember, and then all of a sudden we remember that we forgot, and so now we can move forward with the truth. So that is the gift of Mercury retrograde, and it is very necessary for this to happen because it brings a renewal. It brings revitalization. It brings a time to take our unconscious and bring it conscious so that we can really stand in truth. And the thing is, especially with this Mercury retrograde, with the Aries effect, you know, Aries is like curt, just straight in your face and move really fast. But with this Mercury retrograde, it gives us an opportunity to quell our anger, to reframe how we are willing to engage in compassion, not only for others, but for ourselves. And this eclipse will bring the reflection of who we are so that we can see the truth of who we are willing to become based on the things that we don't like about ourselves or we don't like about our life.
Awesome. All right, Saharah Ali, I know you're always good at finding the silver lining inside inside the astrological clouds. Thank you so much for all that you do and all that you share with us on Mondays. And look, if you want to go a little deeper with Saharah, you can get a reading, you can go to a sound bath, you can go to a yoga class. Oh, I need to do that. Go to SaharahAli.com. You can find out all of her things that she has coming up. Or if you want a personal consultation, call her assistant Elise at 213-628-9783. That's 213-628-9783.
Dominique, I want to add this so that they can sit with this. Just know when one door closes, another one opens. And the thing is to reflect and look at that closed door, but not have any regret and be open to the newness of what the open brings.
Okay, got it. I'll do it. I'm doing it today. We got our homework. We're elevating. No matter what the heck is going on, we elevate. Saharah Ali, you are truly a blessing, and I love talking with you, and I will look forward to talking with you again soon.
Thank you.
Still We Rise, this KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We must understand the politics of our community, and we must know what politics is supposed to produce.
This election year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the place for politics. Unapologetically progressive politics. And we've got two of the best and brightest to help you cut through all the noise. Weekdays at 1 p.m., it's A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nicolai Corte. And at 4 p.m., it's Areva Martin in Real Time. He's the university professor and distinguished member of the White House Correspondents Association. She's a best-selling author and Harvard-trained civil rights lawyer. And they are both here every day to help guide you through all the this year, because you know it's going to get deep. Get your politics on weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. with A More Perfect Union, hosted by Dr. Nicolai Corte and Areva Martin in Real Time, only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your flag.
You can do it all by yourself, baby girl. What's your name? Let me talk to you. Let me buy you a drink.
Spilled your drink? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night.
Buy you a drink.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Are you wet shaving? You'll get razor bumps.
Nah, Pops, I'm good with Gillette Skin Guard. How long you been growing that beard Mama hates anyway?
Since 77, I shaved and got ingrown so bad.
That's why I use the Gillette Skin Guard razor, face scrub, shave gel, and moisturizer, so I don't have to worry about new razor bumps or shaving irritation.
Gillette Skin Guard, huh? Your mama's gonna love this one.
The best a man can get keeps getting better with Gillette Skin Guard. Buy now at a retailer near you.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
And we're gonna go a little deeper today on our mindfulness journey. We are being joined this morning by a behavioral and mental health advocate for both adults and children. She's a mom of twin boys and says she is a community leader. LaTanya Phillips, welcome. Good morning. Okay, you know what? We don't have her on the line yet. So, Mercury Retrograde, hello. We're going to keep it pushing until we find her because I got a lot to talk about today. So I want to clear up the situation with Transgender Day of Visibility for those that are confused. The way that we determine when Easter happens, Easter is different every year. Easter is the first Sunday. Okay. First Sunday after the full moon following the spring equinox. I know that sounds confusing. Once it becomes spring, that's spring equinox. Okay, now it's spring. The next full moon after it's officially spring. In other words, the first full moon of spring is Easter. It's on a different day every year. That is why it's always on a Sunday, but it's always the Sunday after the first full moon of spring. Joe Biden doesn't have it within his power, earthly or spiritual, to determine what day the first full moon after the spring equinox falls. Cesar Chavez's birthday and Trans Day of Visibility are March 31st. Trans Day of Visibility has always been March 31st. It's never fallen on Easter before because it's never been the first full moon after the spring equinox. Nipsey Hussle Angelversary was March 31st. It happened to fall on Easter this year. It doesn't mean that Nipsey Hussle's Angelversary is going to be on Easter every year. No, that only happens if that day, and rest in peace, Nipsey, by the way, if that day falls on the full moon that follows the spring equinox. So, you know what? Do a little research before you post, please. Don't just be out there with these See, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about right-wing talking points that don't serve us. That is actually a right-wing talking point. They're trying to say that Joe Biden wanted to celebrate Easter, wanted to disrespect Easter by somehow, as if you think that's disrespect, by making a Trans Day of Visibility. Neither day did he have any say-so in planning. But now you're going to run out on social media as a celebrity and complain about this because you clearly didn't look into it, because you would have realized that that is just stupid and it makes you look like an idiot. So please, do a little background before you before you post some dumb stuff like that. Okay, so we're being joined now by okay, I'm confused now. Well, I guess I'll find out. Yeah, this is Mercury is retrograding. LaTanya Phillips, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I do, yeah. How are you this morning?
Okay. I'm doing pretty well, and hope all is well with you, too.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Well, welcome to the show. I know a lot of modest people send really short bios. So talk to me a little bit more about yourself, your work. What do you mean when you say behavioral and mental health advocate? What are you doing?
So I currently am a consultant with a community organization, nonprofit organization called Ubuntu Community Catalyst here in Georgia. It's South Fulton, Georgia, as a matter of fact. So like the College Park area, and I know a lot of people are probably familiar with that from various songs and things. However, we primarily focus on that, but it's Georgia based. And we are, about behavioral mental health, housing affordability, and also early childhood education. And we have another, what I call a CAT team, or community action team, that we're developing for workforce development as well. And so as a behavioral mental health advocate, I just advocate for children, for adults, because we want to take away the stigma of just not getting that help of being in a place where you need help, where you need some help with your mental health, where you need some help even physically. We want to help people get the help they need and remove that stigma. And we want to provide resources and just communications around that to remove any of that stigma so people can get what they need and when they need it.
Mm. Yeah, and here you also on your bio it says magical mom of twin boys. Being a mom of twins, I imagine, does take a certain amount of aside from the beauty of that, just as a thing in life. Imagine it does take a certain amount of supernatural mom powers.
So, yeah. And then also, just kind of dealing with, learning recently within the last year that my children are also autistic, having to go through the diagnosis, getting the diagnosis, having to get an IEP for school, get them prepared for that. That whole process was quite cumbersome. I hear that some states do better than others. Here in Georgia, it was quite cumbersome to do. And so what I'm trying to do is make sure that specifically in my course, my journey, is that I'm trying to make that easier for moms and dads, and parents, just guardians in general, to be able to navigate that process and that journey to make sure that they get the diagnosis that they need in a reasonable amount of time, and to get the IEPs and advocate for themselves when they're doing that as well. So the whole kind of gambit of mental health, having dealt with postpartum depression after I had my boys 5 years ago, and then getting a divorce and just a lot of things going on, that's like a topsy-turvy whirlwind of a lot of things going on at once. Right. And so having to kind of navigate that myself and open my mouth and ask for help. But just having the people in the community around me to see that I needed the help, and they garnered and they helped me when I asked. They helped. They were there. And I think that is so very vital and so very important for us to have as a community, especially within, for people of color, especially because we see it as a stigma a lot of times. It's still, very much something that, even though it's a lot, it's, taking leaps and bounds, but it's still very much a stigma attached to, I'm not crazy, and, kind of going off on a tangent with that, which it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It just means that you need some help. Everybody needs help sometimes. And we want to help people to kind of navigate that process. And so that's where my journey is and where I like to help.
My colleague Ariva Martin is over an organization called Special Needs Network, which deals with children with autism. She's a mom of an autistic child and has pointed out it's not just different states. It's also more challenging for Black families to get that help if their children have autism.
It is. And what I'm finding is it's just kind of the same thing with the maternal mental health and maternal health in general. Sometimes we're just not heard, we're not listened to. And so, we have to be powerful in our advocacy for ourselves and for our babies, just to make sure we get what we need. We speak up, we tell them people, listen, if you're not going to do it, where are the processes to make sure that it gets done, and because at this point, we're fighting against a larger system and just a systematic place that's there to almost make sure that we're not heard. And we want to combat that. We want to not just combat that, but we want to alleviate that completely to the point where, everything is equity, So we want to just make sure our babies are living, that our mamas, our daddies, everybody, we're alive, we're healthy, and we're doing well and thriving, not surviving.
You certainly, we only have a couple minutes here before news, traffic, and sports, so we'll start the conversation and we'll continue on the other side. But you certainly, what you described that you've been through in the past 5 years of having twin boys, going through a divorce, discovering that your children do have special needs, that they have autism, and that requires support, a kind of support. And I'm sure there's some other things that you're not sharing on the radio that you don't need to. That, when we go through storms in life, whether it's like what we're dealing with on the global stage right now, or even our national politics, or something as simple as a Mercury retrograde, we have to find ways to protect our peace. We have to find ways to take the blessing with the lesson. From a mental health perspective, let's start on that. You've got about a minute here to sort of give us the beginner's steps on that.
Okay, so some quick self-care things for this Mercury retrograde, upcoming total solar eclipse. Just to meditate, get into your spirit. So I've been practicing Ifa for quite some time, which is a spiritual tradition, African spiritual tradition. And, and I don't currently necessarily practice it because I kind of take the meat and go away the bones. But that said, some meditation, consulting your Ori, which is your spirit, your head, if you will. Just making the consultations, doing some meditations, lighting your resin, drinking some healing teas, doing some stretching and some deep breaths, things like that to just kind of honor yourself. And also ancestor veneration. And I know, that may be a little touchy for some people, and we can get into it on the other side if interested. But, I absolutely honor and make sure that I do that because it's honoring yourself. It's not about worship. It's about honor. It's about respect. And it's about reverence. And so all of that I just take into account to make sure that I am in preparation and I'm going through these processes with the tools that I need and the resources that I have.
LaTanya Phillips is my guest. We'll continue this conversation about protecting your peace during turbulent times when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Donald Trump will be on the campaign trail this week. He's heading to Wisconsin and Michigan as recent polling shows the race between Trump and President Biden tightening in both key swing states. He'll also host a fundraiser this coming Saturday at Mar-a-Lago, with organizers saying the goal is to raise at least $33 million. The rate of HIV infections in metro Atlanta, Georgia is among the highest in the country. A Fulton County health official told the AJC that the most recent data shows just over 25 people out of every 100,000 people in a 20-county area were diagnosed in 2021. The CDC says Black and Hispanic males were among those with the most new infections. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
USC is one game away from going to the Final Four in the NCAA women's basketball tournament. They haven't been there since 1986. Juju Watkins and the Trojans meet up with UConn tonight in the Portland Regional Final. The winner goes to Cleveland for the Final Four. 6 p.m. tip-off on ESPN. Before USC and UConn, the game of the year in women's basketball jumps off in the Albany Regional Final in New York. LSU and Iowa, a rematch of last year's national championship game and a showdown between the game's top two stars, LSU's Angel Reese and Iowa's Caitlin Clark. 4 p.m. tip-off on ESPN. LeBron had a career-high 9 3-pointers in the Lakers win at Brooklyn. LeBron finished with 40 points. The Clippers got 41 from Paul George to help get a win at Charlotte. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey LA, be an eco-friendly hero. Join LADWP's Power Savers program and use your smart thermostat to help ease strain on the electric grid during peak electric demand. You'll save electricity while you lower your bill. Plus, as a power saver, you can get up to $185 in prepaid gift cards. Don't have a smart thermostat? No problem. Shop and sign up at ladwp.com/Power Savers program. That's ladwp.com/Power Savers program. To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelenos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
Hello, Joe, you're up. Welcome. We're unapologetically progressive, and we don't black down.
LaTanya Phillips is with us, and on this Mercury Retrograde, careening towards a total solar eclipse, coming off of another eclipse kind of a week. We're talking about protecting our peace and navigating turbulent times. And LaTanya is a community leader and a behavioral and mental health advocate for both adults and children. Now, you rattled off a long list of things we could do, and I want to just slow it down a little bit here and take them one at a time, because though you and I may be quite familiar with all of these modalities and methods of finding peace, or even if it's not protecting your peace, some of us don't even have peace. We're all out here, getting to peace, getting to calm, creating an oasis, finding the calm at the eye of the storm. As mamas and as spiritually grounded humans, but some folks aren't familiar. So I want to just slow down and go one by one by one, if that works for you. We'll start with something really simple. You said healing teas. When you talk about healing teas, what are we looking at here?
Okay, so with healing teas, I mean, something as simple as a chamomile tea. You know, you might already have that in your, you might already have that in your pantry available. You know, we're kind of right in that pollination nation time frame.
Yeah, everybody's sneezing.
So even something, oh yeah. So something that helps, that's healing, is nettle leaf tea. That's always a wonderful thing to add. Mullein is another thing to add as a tea.
Is it called mullein or mullein?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I know that both of those are radio broadcaster like staples, because they're good for your throat and your respiratory system, right? So whether it's mullein or mullein, whatever it is, Mullien or something like that, and nettle. Both of those taste terrible, but but the chamomile doesn't taste bad. And that one actually, okay, well, since my child is a teenager, I probably can no longer get arrested for this, but I gave it to my child as a baby, talking about protecting your peace, because it would promote nap time.
Oh yeah, and see, I don't even think that that's something. It's just a natural, it's an organic way to help out.
It's right. It's herbs. It's what they say in the Bible. You're supposed to use all the herbs. Right. The other thing, the other thing about chamomile, I think, because the Mercury retrograde can bring sleep disruptions for a lot of people, chamomile can help with that.
Oh yeah. So I recommend a lot of that. And I mean, even if you want to go as deep as doing, starting to cleanse, everybody doesn't know how to do that. So, I suggest, reading up on that and finding the best way. There are a lot of healing herbs out there, such as dandelion leaf or root. That's a good one to kind of be a gentle one to kind of start off with, and they even have some teas for that. So it just kind of depends on which way you want to go with that. But my top 3 right now, I would definitely say would be chamomile. And then, of course, because of everything that's going on as far as respiratory things happening right now. And even throwing some peppermint in there, because I don't think I said peppermint either.
Ashwagandha is nice, too, if you're stressed out.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of my go-to teas.
You have to be a little bit careful with ashwagandha.
Yeah,
you have to be a little bit careful. And it's just simply because it'll get you to a point, and this may be good for some people. It's kind of like you literally, it almost takes your filter off. So, and it's not that you should have a filter on, but if you're in a space where you may need to have a bit of a filter or have a bit more tact in the way that you say things, sometimes I find that ashwagandha will remove that from you, which is a good thing for some folks.
Right.
Obviously, for others.
Maybe I don't have a filter. I haven't experienced that. But I think that, no, I do, because I don't cuss on the air. But I also, I know it's also good for memory. So that's one of the reasons I like it.
Oh, yeah. Ashwagandha is a big one. That one's magical. So I do highly recommend that and that's for women and for men.
Okay. So
whoever.
I'm gonna go down your list. I'm gonna keep you on task here. Meditate. We hear people say that a lot. Is there a specific meditation that you recommend? Some people chant. Some people focus on trying to manifest something. I went to meditation school as a little kid because my mom's a Buddhist, and the Zen meditation is about clearing the mind and trying to quiet the mind. What type of meditation do you recommend?
See, I'm a big believer in there's meditation almost in anything that you do. So if it's something that you love to do, whether it be dance, whether it be art, whether it be just listening to some music, and I would suggest music that's uplifting, that has positive words and affirmations in there, even if it's about money. I always suggest that because you got to be careful and mindful, not careful, but mindful of what you're ingesting, whether it be physical food or spiritual things and words. So, or sitting and calming your mind if you can. Some folks can't calm their mind. They'll have things like, if you're like me, your mind goes off into several different places, just sitting there. But even that is meditation, right? So what I like to do sometimes with that, if I sit and meditate, I'm doing some journaling along with that, because I need to go ahead and take what's in my mind that might be all jumbled around and put it to paper.
Yeah.
A lot of times that turns into some manifesting, because, once the pen hits the paper, it's kind of like when the rubber meets the road. And so it really begins to manifest those things and bring those things to you that you want. So I suggest being very intentional in doing that.
I do think it's also therapeutic. You're a mental health advocate. Saharah Ali, who does our weekly Mindful Mondays, is always an advocate for journaling. And sometimes she tells us to write a Dear MF letter, where you just write everything you wanted to say to that person and then tear it up and put it in the fireplace or give it to the ocean, and let all of it go. Yeah, so I find that.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah, I've done that a number of times. It's super helpful. Like, now I got all that out of me. Yes.
Absolutely. And see, when you have that stuff in you, I almost suggest for me personally, I wouldn't want it to stay in my home. So I would want to discard it like outside, maybe in the garbage or in the sewer, not in the sewer, but
Right.
somewhere.
Take it away
and
from
make sure
you.
it's something that's natural. Right, something that's natural. So you're writing on natural paper that will dissolve and go back into the earth. So you should be fine.
Ashes to
but,
ashes.
I definitely recommend that. Right, exactly. So burning it and then discarding it that way outside of your home, I think is probably a great idea. But I love that. I think that's a great thing.
Okay,
What's
so
funny about you call it mindful meditation.
Mindful Mondays. We do Mindful Mondays every week. Yeah, with Saharah Ali, just to set our intention and get our minds focused for the week ahead.
So I love that because with the group that I'm with, Ubuntu Community Catalyst, basically they one of the founders who has gone on and is no longer here with us in this realm, but in the spiritual realm, named Sir Jose Bright. He actually used to do a mindful meditation, and we actually have a Foster and Family Leaders cohort that we're doing with that's partnered with United Way. And what that basically consists of is we're building up the family leaders. And so we have incorporated our his mindful meditations within that, and that's about a meditation like breath right. Awareness, just mindfulness, and sitting with that. So I love that she does that too. So that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we do breath, we do meditation, we also do affirmations. I see that you have a lot of those on your Instagram, so clearly that's one of the tools you use. And I want to get to the ancestor piece when we come forward, but just give me a little quick bit on the affirmations here.
So I personally love to do affirmations. I chant them. I speak them out loud. I say them to my children. I actually do it when they fall asleep, so it could kind of get into that REM sleep that they're in and kind of like imprint on them. I speak over them. I speak over myself. I actually write on my mirror in dry erase marker various affirmations. One of my very favorites is everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Beautifully, lovingly, joyously, miraculously, easily, lovingly. Everything always works out for me because it does. It really does. There's never been a place where I've ever been, even when I was down in the dumps, and I'm talking about just down low, that things didn't uptick and upturn in my favor and worked out so beautifully that at this point it's almost making me cry now.
Yeah.
So when you keep that in your spirit, and you just know that everything always works out for you, because it does.
I think I use that one too. I say everything, things are always working out for me, but it's pretty much the same. That one helps me when I'm like, I can't take it. We're talking with LaTanya Phillips, and I want to talk about the concept you brought up of ancestor veneration as a means of navigating turbulent times, protecting one's peace. We'll look at that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. Yeah. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
I feel occasional burning and stabbing in my hands as I age.
I sometimes feel numbness and tingling in my feet as I get older.
It's starting to get in the way of doing what I love.
At Nervive, we hear you, and we can help. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use.
Now that I know, I'm taking control.
Try Nervive Nerve Relief and say yes to healthy nerves.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
People who come to Cricket stay with Cricket, just like our customer Jaron.
I'm the singer and guitarist in a band, and I use my Cricket phone for everything. It's basically like another band member.
Don't miss a single beat. Switch today and get a free Samsung Galaxy A14 5G. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Real customer paid for testimonial. Must bring your number to Cricket on up to a $60 a month voice plan depending on device. Select models only while supplies last. First month service charge and tax due at sale. Cricket 5G requires a compatible device and is not available everywhere. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're talking with LaTanya Phillips. She's a mental health advocate and a mom, and she's here to help you protect your peace or find your peace in this journey of our Mercury Retrograde and all of the turbulence in the world right now, nationally and internationally. You mentioned ancestor veneration, and I always, every morning when I start, I, ask for the blessings of God, the ancestors and the elders. It's something that comes from that West African tradition of the Yoruba, which you're referring to as Ifa, and Lukumi. There's lots of different iterations of that wherever Africa's children were scattered. And I started this long time ago when I used to be on a different radio station doing a show called Front Page. And when I first started, there was some pushback. People felt like it was some kind of a false idol or something weird like that. And I think on this show, people are fairly used to it now. The idea of connecting with your ancestors or honoring your ancestors has gotten more mainstream, just like Mercury Retrograde has gotten more mainstream. But I think on this show, it's particularly less controversial because we've talked about it a lot. And one of the points that I always make is that in every other ethnic group, nationality in the world has a way of honoring their ancestors, whether it's the British and the Scottish coat of arms, where they have these little symbols that trace the entire family tree on some kind of patch or symbol that they keep as part of their family legacy. You go into a Chinese or Vietnamese, you go to a Chinese restaurant or a Vietnamese nail salon, you're going to see candles and oranges or whatever in a little thing that is something they have there for their ancestors. And why don't we have it? We don't have it because we were enslaved. And a tree without roots will not live. So that's always been my argument for constantly uplifting and celebrating the ancestors. I feel like the fight for reparations has added on to that because people are looking into their family tree to see what their lineage is, and lineage in the sense of understanding who you are is so essential for mental health, I believe.
Oh, I absolutely agree. That was one of the things that honestly helped me get through it as well when I was going through the divorce and just postpartum depression and, just everything that wraps up with that. And it got to a point where I had to come down. I already had my ancestor room, because that's what I actually have, already set up. But I came downstairs one day after just kind of going through it, and I brought myself and my babies down, and I just cried in front of the ancestors. And I said, "Help me, please."
So when you say a room, you mean you have a whole entire room in your home dedicated to honoring your ancestors. And what does that look like? What does that mean?
I was very intentional about beautifying it, but you can do something simple. But this is just what I have. So what I have is a table with a white cloth. You want to bring the elements, so fire, air, water, earth, into it. So I have a plant on there that my grandmother used to love and always talk about when she was here with us. I have water that is in like a champagne flute. Fresh water that's in a champagne.
But I mean, do you have pictures of them? What?
Oh yeah, I have pictures. I have their obituaries, because sometimes
obituaries.
You don't have pictures
Wow.
of the ancestors.
Okay.
Yeah. Of some of the folks, you don't have necessarily the pictures, because sometimes they may be in pictures with only people that are still alive, and you don't put that in there. And so you got to be very mindful. So you can put their names. You can put the obituaries. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But then I put little trinkets and things that they used to love when they were here. So if they were smokers, I put, the cigarette pack up there. If they were drinkers, same difference. I also have the Bible because my grandmother, I grew up Pentecostal. I was raised in church. I mean, I'm talking about every day just about in the church. And I got the Holy Bible up there. And I mean, just all of the things that perfumes, all kinds of things that I know that they would have loved. And I just honor them. And it's not about worshiping. It's about the honor. It's the veneration. It's the
So explain the difference. I mean, explain the difference in your mind between honoring them and worshiping them.
So worshiping is something I don't worship anything. I do my best to not worship anything. And so you want to respect the people who came before you, right? Their blood still runs through my veins. I'm still here. Their blood still runs through my children's veins. They are still here. I'm grateful. I have to honor, love, and respect them as such because they were here. If it not for them, I would not be here, right? Mm-hmm. And so as a result of that, I want to make sure that I am honoring the things that they loved when they were here. And honestly, some of the things really dropped in my spirit because there were some things that I didn't know or I had to ask other family members about because some of them passed on when I was a bit younger. So, I just had to kind of, and then honestly, when you ask, it jogs a memory for you. And so you're like, oh yeah, that's right, and so you put those things on the table and you don't have, like I said, you don't have to have a lot of stuff, just whatever you can, do the 4 elements if you can and do your basic things and it'll come to you. Like, they'll be like, I want some pecans.
Interesting. All right. Well, we'll explore that a little further. And whatever else you want to share with us about, how you protect your peace, how you mix, sounds like you're mixing family with spirituality with sort of new age remedies to protect your peace. And whether it's Mercury retrograde or life's challenges, certainly we always have those to consider. It's KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We knew you'd stick around. This is LA's home for progressive talk radio. Welcome back to KBLA Talk 1580.
We're talking with LaTanya Phillips. You want to share a website or anything, I don't know, Facebook, a destination of some kind where folks connect with you? Okay, you can be on the show. That's all good. Introducing LaTanya Phillips and the Phillips twins. The crowd goes wild.
They would love that, let me tell you. You can follow me on social media, Instagram at Mind's Eye. That's MYND, Z as in zebra, _EYE. That's Mind's Eye. MYND _EYE on Instagram. And you can also book intuitive readings with me. I do a bit of tarot and just intuitive readings as well. And I also, just whatever moves me, so I may do a bit of cardology, which a lot of people may not be familiar with that, but I do a bit of that as well. So if you want a consultation, you just want some life coaching, anything like that, feel free to book with me, and our calendar is there, and just DM me. Okay.
All right, we got a couple minutes here, 2.5 to be exact, and I wanted to let you land regarding, just what you want to bring to the table today. I don't know if you were quite done talking about the role of the ancestors, but it sounds like you're calling in all these different, including your own Ifa spirituality, all these different elements to protect your peace.
Oh, yeah. So, and, I do want to clean up real quick. So when something drops into my spirit, it's something that I may hear. It's not me being crazy. And I know sometimes it may seem far-fetched if you're not used to that type of energy or anything like that. But I definitely also want people to be open to listening to nature, because we get a lot of downloads that way. That's how I always get a lot of my downloads, just kind of sitting in stillness, writing, and just the downloads will come. Just off of that, and I'm able to move forward through some harder times. So for this Mercury retrograde and this upcoming solar eclipse, I just recommend, taking some time for yourself. I plan on taking the boys out from school a little bit early. We're going to do some dancing, a little bit of meditation. I'm going to let them do some artwork. I'm just going to kind of make it a fun day for us. On the inside, we're not going to go watch it by any means like that. And if that's what you choose to do, by all means, please do. But, as far as us, we're going to, freshen up the water on the ancestor altar. We're going to, call people as usual and just love on each other. And, and just know that everything that is, for us will come for us and is in divine alignment always. And everything, once again, like I said, always works out for us lovingly, beautifully, joyously, miraculously, every day and always. And I say.
Yep. It's... it's everything is energy. So I think as we close, I'm remembering that with the affirmations, it's also the energy behind it, right? Because some people are like, everything's always working out for me. You want to try to stay in that flow, right? That energetic place.
And a lot of times,
yeah.
A lot of times that could be really challenging, especially when you're dealing with some real life stuff. I mean, it gets hard really easily. But if you just focus on understanding that it really does always work out for you. Just think about the toughest time you've been in. You got through it. You still here, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's move on. You really got to use the intention. I'm not a loving light type of person because I understand things get tough.
Yes,
but you got to really, it's about your thoughts. It's about your thoughts and what you bring. So, yeah.
LaTanya Phillips, thank you so much. More straight ahead. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Now here's the latest from the Black Information